It's Thanksgiving morning, but I have had my tree up for a couple of weeks now. I know, but I just wanted to have an extra month to enjoy my tree because I love it so much. What a perfect morning to have a What's in the Bag video. Yay! I found this lovely quilted tote bag at a CVS one year. These were not in the bag, but I wanted to show them anyway because I was feeling nostalgic this morning. These were the very first knitting needles that I ever purchased, and it's how I learned how to knit. It's a size 6, 14-inch knitting needle made by Boy. All right, back to the bag. Let's see what's inside. This is my very first set of aluminum crochet hooks. They were purchased at a Walmart in the 80s, and they still have the 1980s fluorescent green price tag on them. No matter how hard I try, I just cannot get away from this being my go-to hook set. This is a nifty little tool right here. You can put your yarn down in this bag, close the bag up, and then thread the yarn out through the hole, and that way your yarn doesn't flop all over the place while you're trying to work with it. Ooh, the vaults box. Yay, I love this. It's full of goodies. Let's see what's inside. These are neat little covers that you slip over your skein, however you say it. This holds it in place on the outside so that that outside loose thread doesn't get tangled up with the inner thread that you're working with. The indispensable notepad that's always needed for keeping up with pattern stitches, especially when you're knitting. A homemade pom-pom maker for when you couldn't find the real one. Set number 1 of some steel crochet hooks. This is a gauge counter and a way to measure your hooks or needles to determine what size they are. Another set of steel crochet hooks. The bag says wool needles, but it's probably useful for any yarn. Seam ripper number 1. Seam ripper number 2. Oh, yay, 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 yay! I had lost this. I'm so glad we're doing this What's in the Bag. This is my favorite tool ever. This is called that purple thing. Oh my goodness. If you sew on a sewing machine, this is an indispensable tool. I have no idea where I got it from. Seam ripper number 3. Apparently we need a lot of seam rippers. Random loose steel crochet hooks. Apparently we can't have too many of those either. A handy 6-inch ruler for measuring gauge. A cable stitch holder. Different size yarn needles. Silicone thimbles. Small magnifier. Miscellaneous knitting needle point protectors. A pair of tweezers. A metal thimble. I love this. This is a handy dandy stitch and row counter that you can actually slide onto your knitting needle. And miscellaneous aluminum crochet hooks. Well, that's everything in the vaults box. Let's move on to the bag. Crochet swatches for teaching purposes. My very first instruction book. This was the very first rib knit hat that I ever knitted. And this is the very first crochet project I ever did. A thread doily. One of my first books to learn how to crochet. This is an excellent book if you can get your hands on it. This is the book that actually taught me how to knit. This is the very first knitting project I ever attempted. These are teaching notes. These are customized wooden crochet hooks that I had made that I never use because I'm scared to death to. More teaching swatches. Cross stitch pattern number 1. Cross stitch pattern number 2. Tiny random cross stitch patterns I found on clearance. I have no idea what this tool does. Another tiny cross stitch pattern. I just love these. This is a cross stitch pattern I found at the Dollar Tree that's unfinished. I punch holes in an index card to storage my thread while using it. You make really pretty cords with this. I'll have to do a video showing how to do it. Latch hook tool number 1. Paper clips to use as stitch markers. Random lanyard. Random unfinished granny square. Sachet scarf pattern. Home Sew ink catalog. I don't even know if this is still a thing. Random bag of beads. Embroidery stitch guide. Latch hook tool number 2. Random yarn pieces. Measuring tape. Embroidery floss. And that's what's in the bag.